Can I get your name and give these to you?
What is this?
Court papers.
For?
You guys are taking me to court, so I'm serving you guys with my copies of what I'm filing.
Well, I cannot take these.
Well, I can give them to anybody here, I just need a name.
Right, I can't take them. I believe you'd have to take them up to HR. Yeah, you have to take them up to HR and hand them to one of those ladies up there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
you.
Hi. Can I just get your name to write down here that I gave you these papers?
Is that going for legal team?
I'm assuming.
Okay,
It's for court with the county.
Okay, let me go grab her.
Okay, thank you.
I could do that, but I'm pretty sure nobody'd be happy with me. I would be. No one matters. Hello.
Hello. Can I give you these?
What is it?
You guys are citing me to go to court, so these are what I'm filing in my defense.
What is it?
This is my return to service. I just need a name to put on it, saying I served you these papers.
What papers?
Peace.
Good
Well, I taught myself how to do court fighting for custody of my kids, and the judges always go, "Oh, you did the wrong document." So then I got to tell them, B. Pulaski v. CIA says court errs if it dismisses pro se litigants without instructions on how pleadings are deficient and how to repair them. So then they make me go home and redo them. Yeah. So then I just make one of every document, I think, and then you guys can choose which ones you want. You know what I mean? So that it.
What are they? Wait a minute, before you, I don't want you to waste your time.
Well, this is who taking me to court. So this is who.
In justice court or?
In
circuit
justice court. It's the citation said justice court.
And what's the citation for?
They said dumping waste water.
So it was a code enforcement, not.
And I tried to serve it to them, and they said, nope, you have to take it to HR. Either way, I know it for a fact it goes to this building.
It does go to us. When I was a little
Yeah, those are the
confused
ones
when
that.
you said- I got you now. So it's a code enforcement. So you're appealing the justice court one?
No, we haven't even taken it to justice court yet. They won't even let me file my papers. They said that we don't do that here. Because where I come from, they said to be there on the 20th, and the lady said, oh, no, you don't have to be here. That's just to say guilty or not guilty. And since you live in Sprague River, you could say that over the phone. So then I just said it over the phone. I'm still going to show up just in case, because people say things and then you get in trouble.
I'd show up too.
And then she said, no, we're going to mail you a new court date and you bring your papers on that date. And I'm like, so how are they supposed to go over the papers if I don't do it? Because where I come from, you go file your papers and then they hand you a little stamp and then you stamp on top of the judge's copies so that he knows they're filed, and you give him his own personal copies. And then you stamp on all the ones I would give to you so that you know they've been filed.
Right.
And she's like, nope, you can't do that here. And I was like, well,
Justice court here is a little different.
I'm like, can I hand them the papers so that at least they can review them before court? She's like, I don't think they'll take them from you. And I'm like, how do you even do court here if everybody doesn't get to review? Do you just make new court dates every time?
Do you happen to?
Oh, I still need a name. Can I get a name
My
from you?
name's Susan.
Susan? Campbell?
Campbell, like the soup. Do you happen to have a copy of the citation they issued you?
It will be in the back in one of the declarations. Yeah, the smaller copy. Those are all declarations with pictures. I got my deck from me on front, 2 motions, and then 2 proposed orders, and then declarations from behind it of evidence, like my property
So what they'll
deed.
do is when you say plead not guilty, then they'll go ahead and set a hearing date.
Okay, yeah, that's
And
what they said.
when you really need to have these to submit to them.
I got a file pack just like that. I got a pack for me just like that. I got a pack for you guys and a pack for the judge.
Okay, now do you have an attorney? No.
Nope, pro se.
Okay.
I even got pro se case law in there because they try to tell you, oh, you can't do this, and I'm like, oh, yes, I can. Then they try to tell me you made a mistake. You're dismissed. And then I tell them B. Pulaski v. CIA says court errs if it dismisses pro se litigants without instructions on how pleadings are deficient and how to repair them.
There it is. General delivery. I wanted to see which code enforcement officer it was because actually, oh, Sarah.
Well, I got letters from 2 different ones, and it started off with Casey. Casey came to my house, and
So what
or where
was-
my property is, and says, you live there. And I said, no, I don't. I know better, you know what I mean? I'm not losing my property over this joke.
Yeah.
And so I stay with family members here while I take care of my animals and stuff. And then he said, you need to put a tarp up. That says you don't live there. So I put a tarp up, right? Then he comes and says, oh, you can build a 10 by 10 without a permit so that you can get rid of one of these trailers and put your tools and stuff in there. And so I built the 10 by 10, and now he comes back and says, oh, that's too tall. And I'm like, you're full of shit. You can't come tell me after I spend $3,000 after doing what you said I could do that now I got to tear it down. I don't think so. And then so he sends a letter to my landlord that I was buying the property from saying that I'm in code violation, right? He didn't. He sent it to the other guy to have him send it to my landlord. And then so they sent it to my landlord, so I went and paid for my property because they're just going to try to get my contract taken and make me lose my place, right?
And all the money you
Yeah, and all the money I put in. So I paid it off, and that pissed them off. They no longer said anything about my building. They said the first thing, oh, the old owner didn't file a land use compatibility statement, and you have 21 days to do this, or you owe us $21. And I'm like, what? I haven't even received the title for my paper yet. It's like 5 days ago that I paid for it, and you're already threatening me? That's bullshit. And then 2 days, 3 days after that, they sent me another letter saying I'm camping and I'm dumping wastewater. When I have receipts that when I first came here, for the first week before I talked to my family members and stayed there and stuff, I took showers there, and then I paid $50 to have that dumped. And then we started taking showers at the truck stop. And so, because you know, you take showers at people's house, you stay, they get pissed off, don't want you to go, you eat their food. So I leave all my clothes there, all my stuff there, everything there, and I just go back and forth, and we stay in hotels twice a week, because then if you pay $20 more in the truck stop, now you get to stay and watch cable, and you don't bug your family members, you know. It's only $20 more than it already cost me to shower everybody, right? So they're trying to say that I live there and I'm dumping wastewater, you know what I mean? And for one, they're saying they're going to come do a soil test. Dude, if you've seen that place where I live, everybody just plops a camper there. When I moved in there, there was a hose hanging out of the ground, and I just parked right over the top of it. It was never hooked up or nothing. So even if they did come on and take pictures, that's not mine. It didn't come from me. I paid to dump my shit. I paid for a shitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got receipts for all that. And they're trying to say, oh, you did this, oh, you did this. And there's somebody witnessed me doing it. How could you witness me do it if I never did it? The only thing that they could have ever witnessed is the people you pay to do the outhouses. He cleans his bucket out with the blue stuff and goes, it pisses me off, but like they got their own rules. They follow, I don't know, you know.
that's
But that's the only thing you could have
Bam,
seen. And if you did see that, that wasn't me. That's the pooper guys. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, and you've got all the receipts and stuff in here that you paid to have it. Okay.
I only dumped the trailer once because I only used the water once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't need to keep dumping it if I'm going to take showers at the hotel and everywhere else.
Yeah. Okay, so what you do is you plead not guilty, and then they will set up a hearing date. And actually, they were wrong. If you have an attorney yourself, that's when we get involved, because you're represented, so we have to represent them. So I'm going to go ahead and take these from you,
Okay.
and then I'm going to take them right back down there and explain to them. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
You bet.
Have a great day. So do I just bring this with them because usually I file this with my papers. After I go do all this, I go back to the court and file this, but they're like,
Just wait until you show up for your hearing.
it's so weird to me.
It is to me too. Justice court is so different than circuit court.
I called another state to talk to a sheriff because somebody was harassing me after I bought something on eBay. And the sheriff basically told me, so what? You're not here. He can't victimize you. I said, he's harassing me. So I could talk shit to whoever I want and threaten him. And it's okay as long as I don't beat him up. That's legal in your state. And he goes, oh, you gonna come here? And I said, yeah, I'm on unemployment. I've got nothing but time. You know what I'm saying? I will. You see I will. You know what I'm saying? And he's all, oh, nonsense, and hangs up on me. So if that happened here, I would call them. They're the sheriff's boss. They hand him the money. You call the sheriffs in, I forgot where it was, but you call the sheriffs there, and or the commissioners there, and they're a courthouse. They don't have county commissioners. They have a county executive office. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I've heard.
Shouldn't it all be the same in every state?
Nope.
At least the basics of it, you know,
You think so?
the
But yeah, they're all so different. Just even around this state, and all the circuit courts are different, and the commissioners, how they are all set up, they're different.
If you look at those, you'll see that I only made it 3 blocks through the neighborhood because I was going to go through the whole neighborhood and take pictures of everywhere. Because all the things that they complain about, if you say, well, you know, how come that guy that paid you permits is okay to do all this stuff, have trailers and building onto the sides of trailers and everything? Oh, because he already paid us. I can't go get ID because they refused my P.O. box. They want a physical address. So U.S. Title Code 42, subsection 1982 is conspiring against my rights to own and enjoy real property. I can't even to get a driver's license or ID here, and then they're going to pull me over and give me tickets. All this conspiring between each other, all because of an address.
An address until you get.
This is extortion scheme. You know what I'm saying?
Rules are.
There's case law that says where constitutional rights are secured, there can be no rulemaking, abrogating, or legislation. None, zero. This whole legal system confuses me because if you read the First Amendment, it says Congress shall make 0 laws abridging your right to religion, protest. Permit means permission. You can't ask me for a permit to do something I have a constitutional right to do that you cannot make no laws against. And then when I tried to appeal something in Vancouver before, or no, it was Port Eugene. They said, oh, you only have 30 days to appeal because I couldn't figure out how to do it. So, excuse me, no laws abridging my right to redress. So you want to tell me what law you have? And they let me do it. And it didn't work anyway because it was all because my ex tried to file our Vancouver papers for parent class here or parent custody here or in Eugene. And then I wanted to file my own papers and they told me no, I had to pay even though there's already a court case number. That's not fair. And for one, I'm on welfare. Give me the I'm broke papers. So they gave me 2 sheets of paper, front and back. I filled them out and they denied me still. So I appealed it. That's why I had to get the appeal. And then I lost the appeal because they said I didn't fill out pages 7 and 8. And that was it. I didn't even get to tell them, hey, wait a minute. They didn't give me pages 7 and 8. They just call it done. They said I didn't fill it out. Case over. What? And they don't even let you go there and talk. It's all over paper. So I said what they did. They said that I didn't fill out 7 and 8. Wait a minute, you didn't give me 7 and 8. I don't even get a chance to re-say nothing. It's over. It's decided off of those 2 briefs, they call it.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it?
Ridiculous, right?
Was that in district court?
Appeals court.
Oh. They're a different breed too.
That's crazy. How are you getting any justice in here when the law legislation itself is making laws against? Dude, judges make case law saying you can't sue judges. How do you even do that? Case law was invented as a constitutional tool, as a check and balance system to keep the government following the Constitution. So therefore, and the first one, Marbury versus Madison, the Constitution of these United States is the supreme law of the land, and any law repugnant to it is null and void. So it says it right there, you know what I mean? You can't make another case law for unconstitutional purposes. If you have a constitutional right to sue, you could never do that. Am I right? Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I know.
It's like playing Monopoly with a 10-year-old where all the good rules only apply to them and the bad rules apply to you.
That's a good way to explain it, actually.
They always ask me if I want to say something after court, and I always say when procedure preempts justice, there is no justice.
Sometimes it sure feels that way, doesn't it? All right, Anthony.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and just be sure to take that with you, and I would go ahead and show up on the 20th just to say, just in case.
Just in case.
And then they'll send you up your hearing date.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.